Curiosity. What are you so curious about? Everything, Mr. Curiosity.
All right, folks. Mr. Curiosity has arrived. Joe Snedeker here. And I got a special guest here. Now, he's not only a guest. I don't know. Do you want to call us friends, colleagues, something? What are we?
You know, it's a special bond that only you and I can understand.
Okay, it's Guy Palmer. We're talking about the car business, buying, selling, what you should know, what you shouldn't do, this whole chip thing, which I think is a scam, the overpriced cars. We have so much to discuss. I don't even know where to begin.
Where would you like to begin? How about the beginning?
I want to begin with what you are, Guy Palmer.
Well,
you guys don't like the word. You don't like the word salesman. You do like associate. What do you do?
You know, every couple of years they come up with a new thing. You know, your sales representative. You know, then because they didn't want equal rights. You know, your sales representative. You know, instead of a salesman. You know, salesman. You know, salesperson.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Representative. Now, product specialist. Sales consultant. Now, because I'm at the twilight of my career, it's senior. You know, they put that senior.
Yeah.
You know, like I should have a little walker on my business card. You know, senior sales rep.
Well, I like the idea. How about senior product specialist? That sounds awesome.
I think I have that on my email when I.
Excellent. All right. So I want to give folks the background, which I really don't know, but I'm going to try.
Okay.
So you are Guy Palmer, and as far as I know, you have been selling vehicles for decades.
Yes.
20 years. Stop me.
More.
25 years.
A little bit more than that because I was at Scranton Dodge for about 3-4 years before I was at Bernie Honda. So I've been at Bernie Honda. It's 25 years.
And I have the bell here because I am afraid. Here's what I want to do. My goal is to get the people out there to learn the trade secrets from an insider like you. But yet I fear, because you are still employed as a salesman, that you're not going to tell us your secrets because it'll inhibit what you do.
No, I can let you know. I'm not worried about getting fired or anything because I have diplomatic immunity. So
What was his name? The diplomatic immunity guy. What?
Well,
from Die Hard. What was his name?
I could do. Well, that was the bad guy.
He had a great name.
Mel Gibson and Danny.
Yeah.
And you can't touch me. I have diplomatic immunity.
No, but you got diplomatic immunity.
You've been revoked.
Yeah. We got to get his name. All right. So I have a list. I don't do interview questions, but I do have a list of things that are on my mind that you can answer. Your expertise in the business. You've sold tens of thousands of cars. Yeah. You have been interacting with, including my. See, folks. Here's the problem.
How soon?
Here's the problem. The people. All right, full transparency. I buy all my cars from you. Yes. Because you're honest, you're funny, you don't take yourself seriously, you're very smart, you know what you're doing.
Thank you.
But so at the same time, I always feel somewhere in the back of my head, he's still here to make money. Maybe he is taking advantage of me.
No, that's why
is that the perception?
It's a business, just like your business. You have to have viewership, you have to have good ratings. Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, profit's not a dirty word.
Oh, good. Profit is not a dirty word. No, you have to make sure you're not giving stuff away.
No, we're selling a service. First of all, we have one of the best products on the planet. Honda's great. Reliability, dependability, economy, even the environment. So it's an easy sell. Like a lot of people bust you. Oh, you're selling Hondas. What color do you want? It's not that easy.
As if they sell themselves, right?
They practically do sell themselves. Brand loyalty, they're up there. They're number one. Like everybody has, whatever your clothes, your perfume, cologne, whatever. You have a brand loyal. Whatever you like. People are brand loyal, and that's also because I've been there so long. The longevity. I have a great client base, and the repeat business is phenomenal. You know, it's just, you know, you come in, okay, let's do it again. You know, whether you're buying one, you're leasing one, your kids want one, your grandkids want one. You know, it's great. It's very fortunate. It's a very special place there. We have
Gotcha. So the Hondas sell.
They do. They sell themselves with
You sell the Hondas, but let's back up. So
okay, sure.
let's go back to, I don't know, 20-something-year-old you.
Okay.
How do you remember that first day at work when you're like, uh-oh.
Well, this is a funny thing. I worked at a garage. I worked at a Firestone. Okay. I worked there for a couple of years. And I was a service writer, like Egon, like, you know, our guys.
What does that mean?
And a service writer is when you come in to get your car serviced. Okay. You walk in the door to a garage and
I need an oil change. I need wiper blades.
Yeah, you need, you know, your Miata, you need new tires. Okay. So we're going to give you, you know, Kumos or something, you know, we're going to put some tires on,
right.
You know, give you an inspection and, you know, and I worked there for a few years and I was a service writer. And the thing I got out of that is, and I always liked cars. I owned a lot, you know, it was a hobby to me. I work on cars.
You're a car guy.
Yes, I'm a car guy for sure. Car shows, had antique cars and, you know, special. People would come in and you're not really happy going to garage. It's like, oh God, you know, what now? You know,
yeah, it's like going to the dentist. It's like going for your colonoscopy. It's something you don't want to do.
You're going in there, you're going to get, you know, okay, here you go. You need inspection, you need an exhaust or something. Okay, it's $800. And I would get, oh, forget that. I'm gonna just trade in my car, you know, and get a new one, right? So after I heard that for about 2-3 years, you know, just getting beat up, like, you know, people like could just disgusted, you know, nobody's happy. And, you know, a couple people like, oh, my car's, you know, they love their car. They got a name for their car, you know, Betsy they've had for a long time, Snoopy, whatever, you know. But on the whole, a lot of people are just, you know, they're dumping so much money, it's a money pit. So I kept hearing they're going to get a new one, trade in a new one. So I started Dodge. I'm up with the Pompeys, up at Scranton Dodge. And first couple of days, I'm, you know, fresh out of the box. And, you know, so I'm looking at their trade and they're looking at a new Neon or something lovely like that, you know, and they go, you know, I'm presenting the numbers, okay, with, you know, $2,000 down and your car's worth, you know, 2,000, your payment's gonna be like, you know, $289 a month. Oh, forget that. I'll just keep the car and dump a couple $100 in. It was like the switch. You know? So I'm thinking, well, but no, when you're buying a car, you're all pumped. You're looking for something new, you know, that new car smell, you know, old Betsy, you know, is on the last, like the air, you know, this time of year, the AC's dead. That's the biggest one. They want to get rid of the car, you know? So
that's how you got started, yes. From service and then to the sales. And Dodge, is this the 80s now or?
No, 90s, or like early mid 90s.
Because the 90s Dodges still had that reputation, you know. I mean, you had to work hard to sell those vehicles, correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you had to tap dance. Yeah, but we had a very good team. There's my twin, Frank Ross, was working there at the time. So, you know, oh yeah, I could win the Frank. So many people. That's a whole segment we could do.
Legendary local car guy, Frank Ross, right? Yeah.
People, Feel Good Motors. People come up to me. I'm at Wegmans. Hey Frank, how are you? How's business? You know, like, and Lori, I'm with Lori, with my girl, and I didn't correct them. I go, oh, it's doing good, right? And she's like, you know, you didn't correct them. I'm like, oh, I'll never see them again, right? You go up to Wegmans like next week. Hey Frank, how you doing? I'm like, oh, I can't talk. And, you know, I'm like, it was the same people. They thought, I'm like, yeah.
Well, hey, he's a legend, and you're a legend. So
yes, but we had a you know, good team over there in the 90s. That the Ram just came out when they did that redesign. It looked like they made it look like a Peterbilt, a Mack truck. You know, they redid that. The Intrepid was hot. The Neon came out. You know, say hi to Neon. You know, look like
the little hello. I can't remember.
Yeah, the Caravan. They invented the Caravan. So in the Caravans and the
invented the minivan right there.
Yeah, the minivan was so what's it? You know, it was a good time. The Viper. You know.
All right, so you were selling some pretty cool cars in the 90s.
Yeah, at the time, but they were Dodge, but they weren't a Honda. And I hate that. You know, I always liked foreign cars better than American cars. I got bit years ago. I bought as a kid. I had a couple of American cars, and they were like a Bic lighter. They were disposable, throw away. They rust. You know. So I went to Volkswagen first, which is a cheap Mercedes. I like them; they're good, but anything breaks on a Mercedes, anything breaks on a German car, it's like very expensive to fix. So then I went to Subaru. I was a Subaru guy, loved Subarus, but they still have an issue that they had back in the 70s. They have that horizontal engine, and what that does is they have head gasket issues. And I can't believe that for the last 50 years that Subaru still has a head gasket issue in a lot of the Subarus. So I'm like, oh, because I had a couple Subarus, and I needed a head gasket. This was going on. I was just like amazed, So I'm like, okay. And I got it by accident. Literally, I had an accident with the Subaru. So I bought a Honda Accord. And it was like a
What year are we in now? What year?
Well, it was early 80s,
Okay.
and it was a used one. It was a 78 hatchback, had a manual choke. It was a 5-speed, phenomenal car. I loved it. I'm thinking, I'm a Honda guy. I was bit by the bug in the early 80s. Had Honda since there's 2 in the garage right now. I always had a Honda since the early 80s.
I love it. And I have a similar story of just falling in love with Hondas, and I've been buying Hondas and Acuras ever since too myself. So now I want to jump to I think where a lot of folks want to begin, and they can get knowledge from you, whether they're buying, selling. All right.
Sure.
So the whole dealer invoice MSRP. Oh goodness. I mean, let's say
something I dislike.
Well, that's what I mean. Is that even real? Let's say Honda makes a new Accord, and they say the MSRP on the EX is, I don't know, $32,500.
Okay.
Is that what then dealers are suggested to sell it for? Is that what I don't know how it works. Help me. What is an MSRP? Okay. What is an invoice?
First of all, there's a couple of things, but it's the only industry, the only business that they have a suggested price on something. A manufacturer suggested retail price. You can't, and there's an invoice. You can't do that with this computer, Ryan. You can't do it with your phone. You can't do it. This phone is probably made, somewhere, China for like 50 cents. Here it's $1,000. But you can't get this for invoice. You can't get that laptop for invoice. You can't get a free fridge. You can't get a
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I go buy a loaf of bread, it doesn't have MSRP on it, and then $2, and then can I have it for $1.50? Why does this exist?
It's an antiquated system that they should get rid of. And they tried to in the late 80s, early 90s when Saturn came out. When Saturn first came out, I do
remember that. Yeah,
it was just the price was the price. It lasted for a year. It was a huge people coming, But here we go. Now we'll go to the internet and the MSRP. People don't pay attention to the MSRP, and this was pre-COVID, and that's a whole other subject we'll get into in a minute. But pre-COVID, the internet. Okay, people go online. They look. They see the invoice. They want to pay invoice for the car. But again, that goes back to that. It's not a dirty word, profit. We get paid.
But is invoice really what the dealer is paying for a vehicle?
Yeah.
That really is. So
so invoices, let's say invoice on a car is 23 grand, instead of 24 or whatever. The markup is very marginal anymore. It used to be a lot bigger markup, like let's say 2 grand, and then went down to like $1 grand. It's like on like a Honda HRV, I think the markup is like $650. It's like,
I find that hard to believe.
It's ridiculous. But there's, of course there's some, whatever, there's dealer incentives or whatever. But the whole problem is you got to buy the franchise. You got to keep it up. There's always maintenance, there's always, imaging and all these different things. You have to have a floor plan. Okay. So if we have a couple hundred cars, in inventory, we got to get a loan, we have to get a, like $1 million to, a couple $1 million floor plan where we, have to pay interest on those cars. That's it.
I understand that the fees to run a dealership have got to be out of this world, but you already enlightened me with this. So the invoice that you see on the internet periodic, it used to be you look it up in a magazine and see what that invoice is.
Right.
Now you can look it up on the internet, but that's realistic. That's in many ways what the dealer is paying for that vehicle.
Yes, but then there's a lot of things
baked in.
Well, first of all, they got shipping. Okay. When I started at Honda, I think the most expensive Honda was 20 grand. And it was like a V6 Accord, or it was a Honda Passport, the old ones that were we had a joint venture with Isuzu, the rodeo. And that was the most 20 grand. Now we're over 50.
Right.
Hondas are over 50, so, just 25 years, things have gone up. Destination was only like a couple $100. Now it's like 10.95, I think, for cars. It's like 12.45 for SUVs. It's like, that's the shipping. Well, why is the shipping up? Well, just look, every time you go to gas,
you got to put these things on a boat and send them over the Pacific Ocean.
They'll love getting stuck in the ports, everything, but a lot of them are made. That's why we did manufacture a lot, whether it's Alabama,
well, they're still coming on a big truck, and they're
on rail, or on rail,
right.
and you got to pay diesel, and diesel's even more than regular gas. So again, all these costs go up.
All right, so I come to you, I want to buy a new Accord. I look at the invoice, you give me that look. You give me that look like, this guy, he's going to be a pain in the arse. Look at, he's got the invoice. He comes in with a notepad of numbers. Do you hate that?
No, yes and no, as my voice goes higher, but no, not at all. I love it. Because the consumer is prepared. The consumer did research. Half the battle's over. He knows what he wants. Okay. He came in the door. He wants a Honda Accord. Well, I'm shopping a Hyundai, or, okay, great. The guy knows what he wants. He did all this research. It's great. But then you have to, again, you have to educate them. You have to, hey, destination, couple things, it's like fair market value. But what happened was COVID. When COVID hit, we closed for 2 months.
I'd like to stop you right there, because and then we'll move on. But I know what you mean, because pre-COVID, the norm was no one pays retail for a vehicle. You pay 5-10% of the suggested price. Everyone, of course, then if there's a $30,000 car, MSRP, you don't pay that. That's only for suckers. You bargain lower than that. Now, post-COVID, you can't even get it for retail price.
So okay. So the average before COVID, let's say, and again, it depends, and like an average. The average is probably, let's say it was like 800 over invoice. Okay, they weren't paying MSRP; they were paying about 800 over invoice.
Right.
Which that's a fair market price. COVID happened, everything went kind of crazy, and still is. We were closed for 2 months. When we closed, we had like 700 cars in our inventory. We opened up in May, and we opened up almost like we had shifts. I think I worked 3 days a week, and we took shifts so we didn't get everybody else sick. And you only came, you didn't demo the car. The only time you came in was to sign the paperwork. That was it. We did everything over the phone, not a lot of internet too, but over the phone. Customers reaching out to me, hey guy, my lease is up. Hey guy, I need a new one. My car broke down. I hit a deer, whatever. But
here's the thing, it worked, right? It worked.
It worked. It worked. And we went from, in May, we had about 725 cars in our inventory. By August of 2020, we were down to 25 cars.
5 vehicles. It's hard to believe. So now supply is low, demand is high.
Supply was low, demand was high. So, and what the other problem was, all these factories closed. So, of course, Honda ramped up, and we had it's been a roller coaster. So we got the cars back, and our supply was good, but the demand was still like crazy. It was roaring gangbusters. And then everything hit with the chips, the supply. And it's not just the chips, Joe. It's the paint, it's tires. And again, you can go on the other, how they closed the ports, they closed the factories, the rail system, everything was closed down. Then a lot of people quit or retired. They took early retirement. All the truck drivers retired. We'll look at like airline pilots. They want to, I think mandatory age is 65 for a commercial pilot. They want to switch it to 67 because nobody went to school to be a pilot. Nobody went to school to be a technician, a mechanic. Nobody went, schools were closed. They're going to virtually online. You can't really, how am I going to learn how to change a tire, on the internet? You know
No,
what I
I
mean?
got you. So I guess what you're saying now is though, so if I follow you now, and you probably have never seen this in your whole career, that
Correct.
people are just desperate for vehicles, and you probably see them paying. I bet you roll your eyes like, I can't believe they're going to pay that much for something, when just years ago, no one would. But now the demand is so high and the supply is still low. You see people doing nutty things, correct?
True.
True.
True. I'll give you well, it's not, a lot of people, they come in every day, oh, it's not a good time to buy a car. I'm like, that's not, I don't want to really say that because it's not really true. I mean, it's not a good time to go to the gas station. It's not a good time to go to the grocery store, but you still need to eat and get gas. You still need a car.
No, but it used to
look at
seem
that.
like,
Look at the housing market. Look at that. I mean,
I know
that's
everything, but it used to seem like if I was going to buy a car, in a way, I'm doing you a favor and you're so appreciative of my business. And now it seems like car salesmen and car dealers are like, we're doing you a favor by we're going to sell you a car and you pay us what we want.
No,
that's the vibe now.
I feel that's not true. No, because I'm always there to help. I am.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
But no, the vibe, it's not, that's not really a fair thing to say. The problem is on our end is, and I have it every day, and not just, just customers, but like, good friends too, and family, you feel bad because I have people waiting for their cars.
That's what I mean.
Today, present day, you come in, hi guy, I want to get a new Honda Passport Trail Sport. Oh, great, Joe. Look at your car. Now, again, yes, you're going to pay more for a new car, but your trade is worth more than it's ever been.
Yeah, right.
So that's going to offset it. So a lot of people, again, it's the ones like that wreck their car, but they're going to get insurance money, or I feel bad for the kids that need car to go to work and school. Somebody on a
tough to get junkers now, right? It's tough to get a car.
But the junker that was like $5,000 or $10,000 is now.
I know.
I don't even want to say, well, we don't sell. We don't. We keep good cars. They have to go through the shop. They have to be inspected. They have to be safe. Anything bad, we just ship. We get rid of. But those cheaper cars, those less expensive cars that were $10,000 are now $20,000.
I know, it's unbelievable.
So how can some kid, so okay, wow, now they're working at Dunkin' Donuts getting $20 an hour instead of like 8 or 10. Guess what? The inflation killed whatever money they're going to make now. So it's tough, but we're still, it's a trying time because you got to make everybody happy, and it's a juggling act. I mean, people, you just got to be patient, and we'll get you the car. But gone are the days where you just would walk in the line and say, I'll take that one.
I'll take that one, and here's what I'm going to offer, and you better, you better appreciate my offer because I'll go somewhere else. It's not like
and there's
no heavy breathing. By the way, it's my dog, not me.
Is that what that was? Does Jed have asthma, or you got to the vet?
I got to go down my list here. All right, so I show up to you. I see a vehicle I want. Here's what always bothered me. And I'm not talking about with you, but in general, here's the layout. Here's what happens.
You're picking on me.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
You talk to the sales guy. You say, okay, I'll take this price. And then here's what you guys always do. Do the old, I'll go talk to my manager. Then you go in some dark, secluded room, and then you come out 5 minutes later. I mean, what's really going on there?
We go in there, and I usually get a cheeseburger. I get something to eat. Sometimes I go to the bathroom. You know
what I mean? That's universal. I mean,
I'll read the paper.
Really
no, sometimes I do, but no. Here's what really goes on. All right, so, and especially more now than ever because profits and everything. And
all right,
hey, just because we're asking, there's a lot of going on and everything went up. But we go in there, we get to a point, and okay, so we negotiate pricing, and then you come in with some ridiculous offer. No, you come in with some offer, and it's not. You come in with an offer, and it's at the point where I can only go so low, or I'm at like, hey, this guy is,
But that's the point I want to know right now. Who is there? They give the sales rep a certain amount, and then he has to go above.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. No. Like I said, okay, like I'm going to go back to like the HRV. There's only like a $650 markup on a car. Okay.
Right.
Let's say they have a trade and we look to do trade. Usually it's And again, it's a couple things. You'll look, okay, is it the payment? Is it the trade? Is it the price of the, there's a couple different, what are people worried? Oh, I keep my payment $200 a month. Well, that's long gone. You're gonna, just, you get cash buyers, you get lease buyers, and you get finance buyers. But I'm gonna say there is a cap where we can only, and it's not like a magic number. It's like every car is different. Like obviously the markup on a Cadillac is more than on a Kia or on a, so again, we get to a point where we have to get a manager involved.
Oh, so you really do in that back room? There's something happening.
Really, yeah. Oh, there's the sales manager, and again, we have a great place there. It's family owned for since I don't know forever. The Bernie family's been around, I think, in the car business since like 1929.
All right, well then give me.
Yeah, and we have a dynamic. We have the sales manager Sean McGuire, and we have Sean Munt, the finance manager. One of the managers there. That's a dynamic duo, Sean McGuire and Sean Munt. So you go and you see them, or you see Dave Conway. He's the used car manager, and you present the numbers, right? And it's not like, look at right now.
All discuss things.
Right now we're kind of right now the price is the price because of the shortage. You go in there, and the price of the car is the price of the car, and there's a market adjustment on the car. Sometimes it's it's couple thousand over MSRP, but like I said, it's because of you're going to get more money for your trade, so that's going to offset that. So we might get we get some type of offer. Some people are just fine with it, but sometimes we get some like offer that we can't
ridiculous
say okay, do it, because that's past me. Right. I did say I know he's that old, it's past my pay grade. No, that's stupid. There's a point where okay, can we do this deal? Can we do a little bit more? Let's say you're stuck on a trade. You're Miata, we're only giving you $5,000 for it because it's all banged up or whatever. And okay, well, you really wanted $7,000. Well, and I go, well, let me talk to a manager, see if there's anything we can do. And maybe they'll call another. We have, not only do we have a group of wholesalers like that will make us an offer on your car.
Okay,
like
good. So
we're going to give you, let's say $5,000 for your car. But we'll make a couple phone calls, and we'll call one of the little guys, and hey, you know what? Hey, we got a Miata over here. Something you might be interested to stick. It's in good shape. It's got under 100,000, whatever. Okay, yeah, and we might get some more money for your trade, and either I'll come back out or the sales manager come back and say, Joe, great news. We can get you $6,000 for your Miata. Okay, let's do it. Let's wrap it up.
Oh, good. So I get it. It's a good example. So you're making connections. You're seeing if my offer is going to be realistic, and you're adjusting. I love it. So things really do happen in that back room.
Yeah, it's not we're just going back there and like hiding, whatever. Let me make it look like I'm really working here. Give me a couple minutes. No, we have to check things, because again, there's a lot of other things. I'm not getting into all our trade secrets, but there's.
Oh, come on! This is what I want. I got a trade secret. I'm going to admit to you. Tell me if this is realistic.
There's stuff. Let's say on a new car, there's stuff you got to check, because you don't know everything, and there might be let's say on a new car there might be a program, a rebate, like loyalty. Okay, Honda, or you're trading your Odyssey and you're getting a new one. Oh, there's lease loyalty on there. Okay, so you can get that. And I can get to where you want to be. There may be something. They might have just come out with a new program. Financing is big right now. You know that.
Gotcha. Which is my next question. I want to get to. We have to keep moving along here. So
keep moving. Sorry.
So here's another thing I think a lot of people do incorrectly. Let's say $30,000 for the car. Right there it is, and 4% financing.
Okay.
And then I say, come on, man, could you how about you give me that car for $29,000? And you say, okay, I'm going to do that, $29,000. And then a lot of times you guys will go sneak in the back, and you have an affiliation with a bank, and now the financing is 4.5%. I'm paying the same amount. It just had a little bit more. You're moving the numbers on the financing, but you're making someone feel good by saying it's $1,000 less when it's really not, because the financing is a little bit more. Correct?
No,
I'm not saying it's a sneaky trick. I'm saying that.
No, but it's not. It's not true. That's the public's perception. Your credit, we can't do anything. Again, there's so many government regulations, and we have to, no credit app refused. Yeah, that's true, because it could be discrimination. We take your credit information,
credit score.
Right. Okay. And I don't say that's where we get our finance directors, and they get it. We take all your information, give it to them. They submit it to the bank, or we work with Honda, and we work with local banks too. And then your rate is based off your credit. So it's not like we're
But
gonna
don't
bump up. We're gonna bump up the rate because we want to make. It's based off your credit.
But
Whether
a lot
you're
of time, but here's what I think you're taking this personally. I'm not saying Honda's doing this. I'm saying in the
oh,
industry,
I'm taking it personal.
and I don't want you to take it. I'm just saying in the industry, you can give someone a low cost and say, oh, your car is only 25,000, but their interest rate is so high, it's back up to the original number anyway, because they do dealings with some bank that gives them a cut. That does happen, right? Maybe not
No.
at your place, but at other
I mean,
places.
no, they don't. They can't do that because there's laws in place. There's regulations. No, they can't. They can't do that.
I thought a dealership could have a partnership with a bank, and then they take a small percentage of the interest.
No, not at all. Again, like we're signed up with Honda. We're signed up like, let's say a local bank. We don't want to say, just whatever. The Acme Bank Company, right?
Acme Bank Company.
And-
You have a deal
and
with.
for every contract we have, we get
Right.
like. Again, it's nominal. I think it's something like, and again, it could be. I don't want to give you misinformation, but it's like
1%,
it's
half a
like
percent.
no, not even. It's like $100. It's something like it's
Okay.
really it's minuscule. No, it's based off your credit, whatever. And that's a big obstacle because you get people every day, and they went through a divorce. Oh, they don't. Oh, yeah, bankruptcy, or oh yeah, I gave that car back. Well, that's that's a repossession, sir. That's like the kiss of death. If you have a repo,
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's
All right. So you disqualified me on that one. Maybe it doesn't happen. That's why we're here to
Public-
learn. We're here
it's,
to learn, my friend.
public perception, which is
All right. My next question is I got a car, let's say. I want to get rid of this thing. It's 7 years old. It's got 100,000 miles on it. Do you advise the average person for sell it, put it on Facebook, put it in your yard? You're going to make a little bit more, or should I come to you guys and trade it in? What do you think? Honestly.
of course, bring it to us.
No, but I mean,
You're gonna deal with the same thing I am. Okay. All right. Here's $100 now. I'll give you 100 a week for the next 10 weeks. If you're
no, you're
Oh,
putting.
I can wait for my income tax return. I'm gonna do. No, here's another. Here, I'll give you. Here's a great reason why. Facebook Marketplace, the Craigslist killer, all this stuff. Let's say you sell that guy a lemon. Let's say the transmission blows up. He knows where you live. He's gonna go back and throw rocks at your house. No, bad idea. Give it to the professional. Stay out of sales. Stick with weather, Joe. No,
these are hypotheticals. You
give me some rapid fire ones. I gotta.
No, you're taking these all too personally. You don't want someone to trade in their vehicle on their own. You really don't. You should sell it outright. I mean, you'll make more money.
That's wrong too. You get a tax break. Okay, if you trade in a car, okay, let's say whatever, it's a 10 grand car. It's whatever. What's it? $600. So for you to trade in that car, it's 10 grand off the difference. You buy a new car for 30 grand. You buy, let's say a new Accord's 30 grand.
There you go.
Trade in your car, it's 10 grand. You're taxed on a difference, not the full amount. You're not taxed on 30 grand. You're taxed on 20 grand. You save $600. So it's really, in theory, it's like you're getting 10.6 for your car.
Okay.
So for you to break even, for you to go down, and stand in line at Northeast Tag and Title or AAA for an hour and be tortured, come and see the professional, because you have to at least sell it for like 11 and a half or 12 to at least get a little money to make it worth your while.
And then all the difference of the aggravation of dealing with people are knocking on your door, they're calling you up, they're
calling you at 11 at night. Hey Joe, is that Miata still there? What color is it? Did that dog puke? Did was your dog ever sick in the car? Smells
I know
funny.
what you mean. There's a lot of headaches to go with that. Speaking of, when you get trades, do you see a lot of weird stuff in these vehicles or no?
Underwear.
No, I'm being serious. Like,
Articles of clothing, gun.
Am I?
Gun. We had to call him. Gun. Pot. I had to test it myself, and it was pot.
But you have to call the authorities when you find guns and
No, we call the customer first. A knife with blood on it. Yes, then we call an authority. But no, like the guy was law enforcement, and he.
Oh, okay.
He had him locked in the glove box, and we, there's a Glock, So we called the guy. Hey, did you? Oh, I was looking for that. I miss. I was doing the Macarena. Like where's my Glock? But no, people forget. The normal things. They forget garage door openers. They forget easy passes, things like that.
Do most
Jumper
people,
cables. I have a collection of jumper cables. Like I don't know. They forget stuff like umbrellas. But yeah, people leave a lot of, but clothes. Yeah, we've had crazy stuff. Yeah, there was underwear in a couple of cars. Yeah, crazy. I'm like, one. This was back in the Dodge days. I traded like a Ford Taurus, and they were like at a, they lived like at a Big Bass Lake or some resort community. And with those communities, you have to go to the dumpster. You put the trash in the car, and you go to the dumpster.
yeah.
The guy left all his garbage in the car. Like there were bags of garbage left in the car. Like, thanks for thanks for nothing. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to go. I was gonna go to the dumpster today, but
So on the similar subject, am I a typical guy or atypical? I'm very anal. In terms of I want to clean the whole car before I trade it in. Do most people do that or no? Because I want it to be.
No, but that's a great. I'm glad you touched on that. That's a huge point. Tips for the consumer: if you want to get more money for your car,
clean it.
Even get a detail. Pay the $100 or go down to the car washers. Clean the car. A clean car gets more money.
Even from a trained professional who is appraising the car, they know a clean car from a dirty car. Even they can be tricked by a clean car.
You can see scratches. People come in, they try to, again, we have these little meters. We could tell if the car's been in, it's not just Carfax because, there's things, if they fix that on their own or they got their uncle to fix it in the garage, it's not going to show up on the Carfax.
Very good.
They'll come in at night in the wintertime when it's raining or snowing, so you can't really look at the car. They'll like try, the car, it's painted with a roller, like.
Wait a minute,
they'll try to like put those little things pull the wool over your eyes,
I like that one. I get my appraise on my car on a cloudy, rainy day at night, so you can't tell. That's good. I'm gonna use. I never thought of that one.
Well, that's. I tell you, the public is well educated, but we have little, But again, like a clean car, you can see the scratches, the nicks, the dings, the chip in the windshield. There's a lot of things there.
All right, so don't sell it on your own. Clean it up. We're going down the list and check the Carfax when you were going to buy a car used. But a lot of times you're right. I had damage on my car, and if it's under 1,000, I'm not going to turn it into the insurance. I'm going to do it myself. Then it never goes through the Carfax.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can have your buddy touch up the paint or pull out the fender, and then Carfax knows nothing about it. So a lot of times you have to watch for that.
Right.
All right. I'm wondering this with dealers. Is this true that you guys make a lot of your money on the accessories you get? Like if I just buy, let's say I want a ski rack, or if I want a hitch put on the car, or that's where, here's the old line. Look at, that's where they get you.
No, again, that's, I mean, if you get like $4,000 worth of accessories, you're going to make a little money, but if you're just going to get a spoiler, the roof rack, but it's great. A roof rack's like $800, a tow package is $1,000, but it's over $1,000, but they put that trans cooler on, they put a, it's guaranteed. The nice thing about any Honda accessory is it's guaranteed as long as the car is. So that's a nice feature. I mean, you could go to U-Haul for a hitch, but people like Honda factory stuff, especially the accessories.
It's going to look better too. It's going to fit nicer.
Yeah, and we're on the ball. Like, you can get those WeatherTech mats, but Honda makes these high wall rubber mats, and WeatherTech, they're probably twice as much money, and you only get the front two for the same amount of money that you get all four of the Honda mats for. The cargo tray. I mean, but no, I mean, what do you make it? A cargo tray is $200. What are you making on that? $20? I mean, it's not like, it's like all car guys have a mask and a gun, Joe. I mean, come on. Right after the ambulance chaser lawyers, come on,
All right.
We're selling a reputable product, Joe. We are sales professionals.
I know, but not all of you guys are. You are. All right.
I use unscrupulous. Yeah, there's some, the shady guys with the plaid leisure suits and the, the little flags. And yeah, those are the little,
All right, how about this? I do this when I buy used cars, and I have purchased cars, not just all from you, but from others. And they give me a look like, I can't believe you're suggesting that. And I think it's a good idea. Here's the deal. What do you think about this? Or would you roll your eyes if I asked you this? All right, I'm interested in a car you're selling.
Okay.
It has less than, say, 5, 10, 15,000 miles on it, but it was traded in and now I want it. I will then ask you, the sales guy, could I have the previous owner's information so that I can contact them and ask them about the car that they traded in? And I know your answer is you can't give that out, correct?
Correct.
But you can ask. And I've done that before. And then you could ask the previous owner for the information that the new owner wants, and then we can talk if you give me permission.
You know, in
You
the
guys
old,
not like that. I think it's a good.
in the old, see, in the old days, a lot of things were a lot looser. You know, a lot. You know, we're in strange times right now. We're like politically correct laws. You know, nobody wants to be. You know, oh, I don't want to be contacted. You know, like they don't like. You know, like I'll call you Joe after the sale. Like, thank you for the car. How's the car? What are you calling me for? Like. You know, I just wanted to thank you again. You know, like.
So you're saying that it's that people are extra sensitive. I see you're busy. You're looking at something. You got a lot going on. You're crunchy.
Oh my, yeah, it's just the wild and wacky world of sales. But
all right, we'll be done with this soon. But
okay,
but you could do that if you know the previous owner, and you can call them and say, "Hey, this guy wants to talk to you. Do you mind?" He's probably going to say no, but you can't do that.
I don't think we legally can anymore. I don't think we can now. You know,
it's a good idea though.
Maybe if I know the guy, you know, it's a great idea. You know, sometimes they used to have pride. Like the guy would have like a stack of the, you know, like here's every oil change I ever did.
Yeah, and he wants to share that.
The pride, you know, I got the Michelin Pilot, you know, tires on, you know, here.
You're saying that's done. People don't have pride in that.
I mean, it's bad. You could, you know, and again, we clean out a car. Sometimes you know, there might be something under. Yeah, this is how I'm going to flip it. This has happened where, you know, the recon guy, you know, we missed something, okay, and they left a piece of paper, maybe in the owner's manual with the guys, you know, he went to like Coast, you know, Coast has every bit of information on, you know, Joe Seneca or whatever up in the.
I see what you mean. So if I got tires at Coast, then my phone number's on the sales slip. I stick that in the glove compartment and I leave that there.
Yeah, and it's by accident, and it's somebody, yeah, like, you know, you get a guy looking at the car, you know, and sometimes you got to watch too. Sometimes we show a car that wasn't like serviced yet or cleaned yet, and they'll go rooting in there and they'll you know, and they'll call like, hey, Joe Snedeker, this is John Dokes from you know, Gouldsboro, and I'm you know, I'm looking at this car of yours and like, you know, how'd you get my number? You know, first of all, you know, like, and that happened to me once, and it was a lady that had it. She was like an older lady, widow, and she was like all freaked out, like, how did they get my number? How dare, you know, like, I don't know. She was, you know, I think her head was going to explode, but you know, it was really truly accidental. So that's really a gray area, and I don't have. I would say no. I would say no.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea if you can get it, but it's going to be tough to get. I get that.
I don't want somebody calling me about my old car. You know, it's like, yeah, it was a great car thing. You know, like, yeah. Hey, was it in an accident? Yes.
Yeah. All right. Now I feel like you are in the golden years of your job because, you know, I mean, you guys like you and I were nearing retirement in the next 5-10 years, maybe. But here's my question.
Yes.
Do you think, I mean, the future is definitely different. When I talk to people now, late teens, 20s, even my kids, they want to buy everything through like a Carvana. They don't even want to talk to salespeople. They just want to click on the computer and have a truck show up and drop off their car. I mean, do you see that less communication and more?
Yeah. I mean, it's like that with even like people we hire. I mean, it's you know, anybody below 30. You know, I hate to like, you know, blanket it, but anybody below 30, you know, you gotta like. It's like an old car. You got to warm them up. They're kind of like quiet. They're, you know, like I don't know, like.
Yeah, where's the zeal? Where's the enthusiasm? I see that too.
I don't know. It's like I don't know if they're like sedated or, you know, they're on, you know, it's the medication. I don't know what it is, but I know exactly what you're saying. And you know, I look at, we all buy stuff on Amazon, okay?
Right.
And, and being a man of large stature, I can't just walk into like, Kohl's and, get a pair of pants. I gotta like shop around. I get it. But a car is not like a pair of pants. Okay. You can't. Okay. And LL Bean, here we go. Yeah. Give me the chinos, the classic chinos and, 38, 40, 34, whatever. And they come, oh yeah. And they're the ones you got to drive the car. You got to sit in the car. You sit on, some of these cars, you sit on the seats, like sitting on a rock,
Right. But you can always,
the way the car handles, the way the car rides, and especially, well, Carvana, first of all, I'm not sure where they get their used cars from. I think some of it is fleet. And from what I've talked to people that actually have gotten their cars from there, and they do give you, I think they give you like, we give you on just a regular car, a 3-month or 3,000-mile warranty we give you on the powertrain, on the engine transmission. Carvana gives you, I think it's 4 months or 4,189. It's something crazy like 4,189 miles. They give you like a powertrain also. So they do give you a little bit of a warranty. But if you get the car and you say you don't like it, you can send it back. That they have a 7-day guarantee. But they don't tell you, you lose some of the fees. They already ran your credit. You already put it on your insurance. You're going to get the hit on your credit. You don't like the car. Let's say you're going through the midlife crisis and you want a, Mustang GT convertible. So you get it. And it doesn't look anything like the picture, just kind of like, online dating, it looks nothing like that. That was their senior picture, right? So, it was just the stock photo of the car when it was new. You get the car and it's
but Carvana has a reputable, I think.
They do, but they're getting in trouble. I know they can't sell in Florida. There's 1 or 2 states they can't sell in.
Are they doing good now or no?
They're not. No, it's not a bad. It's a great idea. I don't know about the vending machine. It's I think it's cool. The vending machine. But the problem is if you don't like the car, you can send it back. There's a couple of problems. You send it back, but there's a restocking fee.
Oh, I see.
It's like $1,500.
Oh,
yeah. So,
but guy, is this?
And then also, where do you get that car? The other thing too is where do you get that car fixed, Joe? You call car.
Because you have no relationship with anyone, right?
Right. They have some authorized service centers. Okay. So they said, but you don't have a relationship. That's I don't know. Not a question. It's maybe a question on your list. Buy local. I was watching one of the news. Don't judge me. I think it was Fox or CNN. I watch both sides. I'm not. I want to get all my news and then take little bits from here and there. But I was watching one of the news channels and they had a car expert that tells you about the buying thing, like all the tricks of the trade. And when he's saying, oh, drive to drive to a big city, drive to get a deal. Well, that's great. But what happens if you have any issue with the car? At least if you got it at your local place and the local people, you have a contact. You have somebody, you're just some stranger. Hey, this is Joe Seneker up in northeastern PA, and you got the car in Philly. Yeah, I'm having a problem. It's my fan motor's making a ticking noise, or my air conditioner.
You hear some chuckling in the background, right?
Yeah.
I know.
And they're going to be like, oh yeah, bring it down. But they're going to put. I don't want to say you're going to be in the back burner, but they're going to take care. There's a thing buying local. We're going to take care of. I
totally get your point, but I wonder if we're dinosaurs. If this is like 1905 and we're tanning leather, and here comes Henry Ford, and we're still riding the saddle. I wonder if the future, if we look back when we're dead, or just in 10, 15 years, it's all people buying online. I don't know.
I'm waiting for the flying cars, Joe. I want a flying car. Where's the Jetsons? I want a flying car. I don't have all the answers.
But do you see that? Do you see that trend? Do you feel like a lot of people don't want to touch and feel anymore, even with you? They just saw it on your website and they're going to buy it? I don't know.
Yes, and no, I still got people coming in asking for brochures.
Kicking tires. Oh, okay.
And everything. Well, I'm sorry, everything's online. They hate that. That's why. No, people come down there, and that's one thing I'm glad about with Honda with the shortage, and I hope they do it with every model. They sent us brand new the 23, the redesigned HRV, which is phenomenal little car. They did a great job with it. They gave us a model that we can't sell. It's there just as a demo for people to drive. And people still come there and want to touch the car. What color is that? It's the Nordic Forest. They want to see the color live, not a swatch, whether it's on the internet, whether it's on. So, and you like to sit in the car. These seats are comfortable. Do I have to look? Can I fit in the car? Can you, oh, this is great. Okay. And how it rides.
So the moral of the story is this is one industry. We want to stay touchy-feely.
Definitely to an extent. What I think, and again, now I may be wrong. This is just a prediction. I think we're going to be like at Raymore and Flanagan. I think we're going to be a showroom. I think there's going to be kiosks and stuff like that. But they're going to come down, and my sales role is going to change before I retire a little bit. Like I'm going to show you the car, and that's the big thing, especially with anybody, because all the technology in the cars now, the collision mitigation, emergency braking, the lane keeping assist, the blind spot monitoring, all this stuff. There was a point I didn't go for the demo rides. I just stopped, right?
Yeah.
Because I was afraid. I could tell you the stories about that. I had some little old lady driving one day, and Scranton is like.
I forgot demo rides.
Scranton is random. Okay, like there's no stop sign there, and we have a stop sign, or they don't have a stop sign. Neither do we, and it's roulette, or some kid took it off. Right? There's no. So I'm going with her, and she's like, just going, we're chatting.
For a test ride.
He blows through the stop sign. The car is screeching, locked up the brakes, coming at me like, I'm in the death seat. It's coming right at me. And I'm like in the crash position. And she's driving like this. And she says, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I have to go home and change my pants." I soiled myself. It's that.
Well, this brings up another question. I forgot. So if I were to take a test drive, do you always have to go, or could you just say, "Here, take the keys and go"?
Here, take the keys and go. I need your driver's license. Make sure you do have a license, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I've been going more again because of all the technology. Well, COVID, we didn't go at all. First of all, there were no demo rides for COVID, and then we started doing it again. But I didn't go with you because of COVID. Yeah. And now, I'm back to like hugging people and kissing babies. But I got COVID. That's a whole other story. But
all right. Well, this is interesting. I love it.
But I go to show them the technology, and what I do is
you can't just absorb that like you could 25, 30 years ago. Here's the heating button. Here's the rear view mirror adjust.
Here's the gas and the brake are the same. So they have a problem with the push button start. But I go over I drive the car and I show them the lane keeping assist. I'll show them the emergency brake. I do the adaptive cruise control. I'll drive one way. I'll get out. We do the Chinese fire. We do the fire drill. And they'll drive back. You can't say that anymore. Anyway, they'll drive back, and they loved it because I showed them features they didn't even know existed.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense.
Or they don't know how to use. Or I said, well, there's Honda tutorials you can do YouTube, but I try to go over as much as I can. And if not on the demo ride, when I'm delivering the car, there's a lot more now.
But there's a lot of guys like me out there. I want to learn on my own. I hate when someone shows me everything. I want to learn it. I just want to buy it, and I'll take care of everything else later.
We do that. Hey, do you want me to pair your phone? No, that's okay. I got it.
No,
I go. Your kids can do it, in like 5 seconds anyway. So I throw them the keys. Yeah, we still do that.
All right. So now the ultimate future, though, we have to talk about electric cars. What's happening, baby? What do you predict? The death of combustion in 15, 20 years?
They don't have possibly. They don't have the infrastructure. They don't have. Okay, I buy a new electric car. Honda's coming out the Prologue, I think next year, 24. Then 24, it's coming out. Honda electric car. But you get a Tesla today, okay? And I want to drive to Detroit, or I want to drive to Florida. You really have to plan your trip because there's not charging stations everywhere.
That's the problem. I know.
And that's huge. And also, people think that you're just plugging it in and it's green, clean energy. There's still a coal plant belching out smoke. There's still a nuke plant out. They're not all like windmills.
People don't get that. I know.
And that battery,
let's get that number up. Everyone's stuck on 250. I want 500, 600 miles. We got to get past 250, right? For the miles.
It's got to be the same as a gas. Everything it's got to be the same. But
what gets me too, and then we'll end this. People who do have electric cars, like you said, if I wanted to go to Detroit or Philly or DC, my wife complains if I have to stop for gas and run for a Coke and it takes 3 minutes. I'm not going to be prepared to wait an hour just leaving my car and sitting there. Like, you know what I mean?
Fast charge.
Time is money.
True.
Fast charge is even 20 minutes. I'm not going to sit around and wait like that.
What I kind of predict another thing with the electric car is maybe we'll all have one electric car and still one gas car. The electric car will be you going to work.
Ooh, good.
You going to the store. But for the trips, for the haul, you'll have a truck, you'll have a van. maybe it's going to something like that, because at least, because there's still 2-car families, there's still multi-car families. Okay. But at least if you have one of them are electric, it's not going to be as much. It's going to be a gradual thing. They can't, they didn't shoot every horse when the horseless carriage came out. You still had horses and wagons and, like that, I mean, then please, you saw the Waltons. I think they still had you watched that. They still had horses and stuff. I think the Ike Goslet, he was the Baldwin sisters that made the rest of. I think they're the only 2 that had cars. So
well, I think
they're not going to just don't park your Miata right now and get a Tesla. No, there's
going to be a transition. I got you, brother. Well, I think this was productive for our listeners, and I think they learned a lot from you. And I want you to share honestly now, and we'll end this. Am I in the top 10 clients of all time for you?
Oh yes.
Top 5.
Yes.
Top 4. Top 3. Number 1.
Wait. I'll get it.
Look at you're only giving me half your attention. Forget about that. You're making deals while we're on the
that
phone.
was your wife. She was texting me. She said to bring home some milk.
Was I your typical guy? I would come in and I'd have some.
I was my typical. No, you're not a typical guy, but you're one of my favorite customers. Yes, of course you are. Are you one of the top ones? Yeah, I would definitely. I would put you in the top.
I'm not fishing for compliments. I want to know.
I'll tell you, we had Paul Servino that he just passed away. He was one of our customers. He was a top customer.
I'm just saying, you sell thousands of cars a year. You deal with all types of people. What's the average person buying a car? Do they do more research than me? Less? Are they more serious? What do you deal with? You're like, in your job, you're like a psychiatrist. You're like a mechanic.
It's all over. It's all walks of life, all different, ages, nationalities, all different incomes.
Yeah, and you're giving financial advice. You're giving, automotive advice. You're giving mental advice. You do it all in your position.
I mean, it's families. It's nice generations. But taking care. If I've taken care of you and then your kids, or I know Randy's talking to me now, your brother, about he's up to something. Yep. So there's always your mom, all these people. So it's nice. It's being there that long is generations, but. Yes, you're one of the top 5. Are you typical? All kidding aside, you're in that average, where you do your research, the product, you like the product, you're a repeat customer, you're brand loyalty.
I come in with my bank rates.
Yeah. I mean, but again. Yeah, but Honda usually, we always have some specials going on. We always have something going on. It's just, you got to be patient with the cars, because the supply chain, it's to get a truck driver, to get it, shipped, to get the parts for it. It's a real big challenge. And I don't see it getting better for at least another year or 2.
Okay. Well, sell yourself here. We only have 10 seconds left. What do we need to find you and buy a car? Go get him, big guy.
Find me at mattburneyhonda.com. You can reach out to me there. You can find me on Facebook, Guy Palmer. I'm pretty easy to find. I'm the only guy there.
You're a great guy. That's what you are. I like your sense of humor, your knowledge. You're a good guy to deal with, and
you as well, Joe. You're always a joy to deal with.
Plus, you're a good-looking guy.
I hold up well. I take my vitamins, and I moisturize, and and you too, Joe.
Yeah, well, I moisturize too. That's the key. And sunscreen, man, sunscreen.
Oh, you need a lot. A bike ride. I had some questions, but we're gonna.
No, that's another podcast. But I will end with this. You should let yourself go gray, because I know you're dyeing your hair. You must be.
This is a wig, Joe. What are you talking about?
Okay, you took the next.
I'm not just the president. I'm a client for the hair club for men. But.
All right, Brian Palmer, Matt Burney, Honda. Great talking with you. If you have any other questions, you can email this guy, and he's on the Matt Burney website. Love it.
Take care. Always a pleasure, Joe.
Rock on, brother.
Curiosity. What are you so curious about? Everything, Mr. Curiosity.